Hey, what's up everyone, CTNtechnologynews here, and today I'm doing a rumor video on the upcoming Microsoft Surface Pro 4, which is going to be the next generation of their Surface tablets. So the Surface Pro 4 could be a pretty cool upgrade. It's probably not going to be a radical redesign, but it could have a ton of cool new features, so in this video, I'm telling you what I expect to see. So for starters, the Surface Pro 4 will probably be roughly the same size as the Surface Pro 3. The Surface Pro 3 is 12 inches, which is a fair bit bigger than the original Surface and the Surface Pro 2, but it's more in the hybrid range, and I think that Microsoft would be making a mistake to change the size. I mean, for one thing, they'd have to release a ton of new accessories and keyboards to go with the new size if they do decide to increase or decrease the size again, and I think that would be a mistake. For one thing, it would be a lot of extra work for Microsoft, and it would also leave a lot of customers unhappy because, I mean, all of their current accessories and keyboards and things, they'll be outdated as soon as the Surface Pro 4 is released. So I think that a 12-inch screen for the Surface Pro 4 would definitely make sense, even if it is the same size as the Surface Pro 3. Now, Windows 10 will certainly be coming to the Surface Pro 4. Probably by the time the Surface Pro 4 releases, Windows 10 will already be out, and that'll mean that the Surface Pro 4 will get all of the new features in Windows 10, the new start menu, the new abilities to toggle between desktops, the new task manager, all of that new stuff, and I think that's going to be a really great upgrade for the Surface Pro 4 to get. Probably the current Surface Pro 3 will get Windows 10 as well, but maybe the Surface Pro 4 will get some additional features that current devices won't get. You just never know. Now, as far as the specs of the Surface Pro 4, the current Surface Pro 3 comes with an Intel Haswell dual-core i3, i5, or i7 processor with also either 4GB or 8GB of RAM. Now, those are pretty decent customization options for the Surface Pro, so I think the Surface Pro 4 will again be pretty similar. Maybe Microsoft will slightly increase the processor speed, give it a couple more cores, or just increase the gigahertz of them. I mean, that would definitely make sense. Or maybe Microsoft will actually also throw in a 16GB RAM variant, which would be really fast, and it would definitely be good for high-end users, although it will probably be pretty expensive, so it'll be out of the range of most people looking to buy a Surface Pro 4. Now, the camera could definitely use some improvement in the Surface Pro 4. The current Surface Pro 3 has a 5-megapixel camera on the front and on the rear, which isn't too bad, but it's a fair bit behind current smartphones, so if the Surface Pro 4 has a better camera, that would be really great. With that said, I still don't think it's very realistic for people to be holding up their Surface Pro just to take a picture with, especially now that it is 12 inches big. I mean, it's bad enough to hold up an iPad-sized tablet, but when you're holding up a 12-inch device, that's when things get to a bit absurd. I think the front camera could definitely benefit from an improvement though, so maybe if Microsoft improved it to 8 megapixels or 16 megapixels, somewhere in that range, to where it'll actually be able to take better quality front-facing shots for better video conferencing and Skype meetings and all that kind of stuff. More megapixels don't necessarily mean a better camera, but I think that the Surface Pro 4, if it does get a megapixel increase for the front camera, it'll be a better camera overall. Now, the last thing I really want to see in the Surface Pro 4 is better fixability and the better ability to repair it if it does break. So the current Surface Pro 3 is very strong adhesive to where it's almost impossible to crack the device apart and replace individual components, and that can be a bit frustrating, especially if you get a tablet that'll break after a little while, and you know, you don't want to spend $1,000 on a Surface Pro and then find about a year later that it's broken and you can't really use it anymore. I think that repairability is a really great feature for a device to have, even if it's something that Microsoft wouldn't want to advertise. So anyways, that's what I want to see in the Surface Pro 4. I think it could be a really great upgrade, but let me know what you want to see in the comments below. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.